Hello and welcome to another episode of Marketing for Your Future. I'm your host, Cindy Ashton from the Daily Ad Brief, coming to you from New York City. And from Bayside, New York, we have James Spellos joining us from Meeting You, and he is all about technology and all that jazz and where to go in the future. So he is going to give us some great insights into marketing for your future from a technological standpoint. Hello, Jim, and welcome to the show.
Cindy, pleasure to meet you. Thanks so much for having me here.
It's a joy to have you. Tell us a little bit about what you do.
I'm a teacher. I teach technology applications across the country, going into organizations, working at conferences. My job for 25 years and my business for 25 years is trying to make technology more understandable and usable for every person out there.
I love it. That's so important because it could become a little overwhelming. So talk to us about in the next 2 years in terms from the marketing standpoint, what technological advances are happening that we need to be going, okay, give me some insight.
Well, it's clear right now where everything is lining up towards is toward the metaverse. It's toward this collusion of augmented virtual reality and a social digital space where more and more big businesses and brands are going into because they realize that all of the major players understand that that's the next iteration of what's happening with technology. You know, we've done it before. 15 years ago, there was a site called Second Life, but as a population, we weren't ready for it. And clearly, from a marketing perspective, there weren't enough people in there. But now with the money behind it, with banks behind it, large franchises, as well as the major tech players, Cindy, I don't see any way by 2023, 24 that all these people won't have a huge stake in the game, which means your customers and your clients are going to be there. And why not be the blockchain rather than Blockbusters? You know what I mean?
That's so true. I still remember Blockbuster. I remember, going through those blue aisles and picking out my movies. And now it's like I just scroll and scroll and scroll, and we all get fatter sitting in our living room scrolling for Blockbuster. But you want to be able to be up in exactly. So my question for you is, there's so many things like in the meta universe for marketers. What's the first thing they need to do to start to move into the meta universe? I'm not even saying it right. If they want to get it, if they really want to jump in and get started.
Well, part of the challenge right now for them is figuring out which one is going to be the one where most of the people they want to reach are. And that's not an easy decision, although there are two big players at this point. One is clearly Meta, Facebook, with their Meta Horizons. And the other, which seems to be bigger in terms of an organic approach, is Decentraland. Right now, the metaverses are different, separate entities. So from a marketing perspective, you may not have the ability to just choose one. You may need to set up shop, as it were, in both of them and see where you might be the best fit or where the people you want to reach are located. So right now is an exploratory time for marketers to really understand the lay of the land and really get a sense of where they think they can interact best with their clients, their constituents, and their customers.
So this is so interesting, Jim. So when you say set up shop, are we talking about that our websites need to be upgraded, or is it that we need to be special apps? Like, what does this actually look like on a tangible level?
Well, it's a website. Let's look at it from a very basic perspective, that you log on to a location, you go in there, and then you have an avatar where you move around, you meander around. So when I say setting up shop, I'm talking about perhaps buying a parcel of digital land in this digital space. You really got to think about this, Cindy, as sort of a gamification between game players and life in general, that we're using a lot of that same context that the gamers have been using for years. But now we're able to move around and have social interactions, to have interfaces with events, large companies in there. So what you need to do is go into a website, go into either the metaverse with Facebook or Decentraland or Sandbox, and just start walking and see what you see and see what you find out. It's going to be a little bit eerie. It's going to be a little bit perhaps open right now. But here's an interesting fact. Snoop Dogg, who is, I believe, in the Sandbox universe, somebody just bought the parcel of land near him forget this, $500,000 just to be Snoop Dogg's neighbor. I mean, does that tell you enough about the marketability and where the potential is in terms of where people want to be and what can actually be the future there?
Yeah. Jim, this has been very enlightening. Thank you. And you're just so much energy. I love it. Thank you so much for really taking us through what to expect and kicking our butts if we haven't started to explore the meta universe, as you call it. I'm still saying it wrong. It's all good. I have other talents. So thank you so much for being on the show today.
Thank you, Cindy. Thanks for having me.
And for those of you watching, thank you for tuning into yet another episode of Marketing for Your Future. If you would like to connect with James, be sure to go to dailyadbrief.com, and I will see you on another episode very soon.
Simplify presents Addressable CTV, combining the power of TV with the targeting and attribution of digital. Simplify's Addressable CTV delivers massive reach with the ability to scale without sacrificing precision. TV buyers can generate incremental reach with household-level targeting, frequency controls, reporting, and insights. To learn more about Simplify's Addressable CTV and what it can do for your clients, visit simply.fi.